Where is the world's largest arsenal? Ammunition reserves are enough to fight a world war, and they are still in reserve today. In this video, let us learn more about it. As we all know, war is about weapons and equipment. As the saying goes, a cannon fires worth 1,000 taels of gold. The importance of weapons and ammunition to war can be imagined. Therefore, whether in times of war or peace, all countries will reserve some ammunition to prepare for emergencies. This is true for Russia, so is China, and the United States is no exception. Among the arsenals stored by various countries, there is one that is claimed to be the largest in the world. It covers an area of 850 square kilometers, even equivalent to 25 Macaus. There are 2,427 bunker-style warehouses built into the weapons depot. The types of weapons and equipment inside are dazzling, and the number is even more frightening. Seeing such a scale, some experts even estimate that even if there is another world war, they will not be able to use up all the supplies. This arsenal is the famous Hawthorne Army Depot in the United States. There is a very mysterious town in Nevada, USA. There are no people in the town, but it is one of the most heavily guarded places in the United States. Because this small town is home to the largest arsenal in the world. So why does the United States build such a large arsenal? Why is the largest arsenal in the United States built here? We often hear the word arsenal, but do you know where the largest arsenal in the world is? Some sources say that the largest arsenal in the world cannot be used up even in a world war. It was Hawthorne Army Depot. When I think about it, I know that only the United States has such great ambitions. For more than 240 years since its founding, the United States has always been a very smart country. It was a bystander in World War I and World War II, and did not participate in the battle at all in the early stage. After the other countries fought fiercely and the winner was quickly determined, they slowly entered the arena. From the beginning to the end, the United States has been selling large quantities of arms and making huge war fortunes by making deals with countries participating in the war. Even if it joined the war did not spread to its homeland, so the United States consumed very little in past wars. After the end of World War II, the only country in the world that could stand on an equal footing with the United States was the Soviet Union. The two countries fought for world hegemony and the Cold War broke out. They competed to expand their ammunition depots, and their overall military strength was once evenly matched. Both countries even possess huge and surprisingly powerful nuclear arsenals. Among them, the world's largest arsenal, the Hawthorne Army Depot, belongs to the United States. The history of Hawthorne Army Depot dates back to 1926. At that time, a military warehouse in the United States called the Denmark Lake Naval Ammunition Depot accidentally exploded, damaging the United States ammunition storage capacity. 2 years later, the U.S. Congress passed a new bill to rebuild an ammunition depot. So in 1928, the history of Hawthorne Naval Ammunition Depot began. The size of the Hawthorne Arsenal reached 580 square kilometers in 1948. In 2005, the entire arsenal covered an area of 1,000 square kilometers. Within this 1,000 square kilometers, there are more than 3,000 bunkers. Stored in the bunker are all types of weapons and equipment of the Army. Among them, weapons account for 30%, ammunition accounts for 50%, and weapons production equipment accounts for 20%. It is said that the ammunition stored in each bunker is enough for the United States to conduct large-scale operations for a month. There are more than 2,000 such bunkers in the United States, so you can imagine how much ammunition they store. Therefore, this amount of ammunition is enough for the United States to fight a world war. Of course, the possibility of the outbreak of World War III is not impossible, but it is unlikely in the short term. For this reason, most of the ammunition in this warehouse is not used. Even in the current Russia-Ukraine war, the United States is helping Ukraine provide firepower to the front lines. But after all, it's just two countries at war, so there is no need for such a large amount of ammunition. After all, this is ammunition that can cope with a world war. However, there are two other things worth mentioning about this ammunition depot. One is its security, and the other is its geographical location and environment. During World War II, the security level of the ammunition depot was still very high. At its peak, there were approximately 600 Marines stationed there. But now, the ammunition depot has been taken over by a private security company. After all, no country in the world can penetrate into the United States, so the security level of the ammunition depot does not need to be that high. Moreover, outsourcing security to private security companies can also reduce security costs. It is understood that the entire Hawthorne arsenal has 4,000 managers. The daily task of these staff members is to check the safety of the warehouse and maintain the weapons in stock. When weapons came to be sold, they became porters. Relying on manpower alone is not enough. There are railway tracks extending in all directions underground throughout the Hawthorne arsenal. Whatever weapons you need can be loaded directly into the corresponding warehouse by train, and the shipping speed is comparable to the e-commerce company Amazon. In addition, in order not to repeat the mistakes of the Denmark Lake Naval Ammunition Depot, the location of the arsenal is located in the Nevada desert, 1,600 kilometers away from the west coast of the United States. This place is inaccessible and the population density is slightly higher than that of Siberia. Even if the ammunition depot explodes again, it will not cause large casualties like last time. In addition to the reason of being inaccessible, it is also conducive to the preservation of arms and weapons. However, some experts pointed out that the United States stores so much ammunition not only for war preparation storage, and to deter other countries, but also to make war profits. After the United States has provoked local wars and conflicts in recent years, the next step is to sell arms. Therefore, before a large number of arms are about to expire, the United States will try its best to consume them. That is to provoke conflicts in various places and make a lot of money later. But as early as 2005, the U.S. Congress wanted to close this arsenal. However, it was stopped by agents of the U.S. military and military capital. Their reason was simple. In the event of a war, it would be difficult to restart the arsenal. In recent years, the newly produced weapons in the United States have not been placed here, and the Hawthorne Town Arsenal has become a warehouse for selling arms. The backlog of old weapons here will be exported to other countries. If they are not sold, this place will become a museum of old weapons. The importance of arms depots also owes to the development of contemporary military technology. Modern military equipment is changing with each passing day, and the birth of new weapons and ammunition has promoted the upgrading of armaments. While some of the older weapons and equipment may be obsolete, the modern equipment stored in the warehouse can meet the needs of current and future wars. People have different views on such a large arms warehouse. Some people believe that the United States' excessive arms reserves are a threat to peace and may lead to an intensification of arms races and wars. They called on the international community to take measures to limit arms stockpiles and military spending. However, others believe that arms warehouses, as an important part of national security, are necessary to ensure peace and stability. They believe that having strong national defense capabilities can effectively deter potential hostile forces and safeguard national sovereignty and people's security. In fact, in addition to the United States, many other countries also possess large-scale arms reserves. This is a reasonable choice made by countries in order to cope with the uncertain international security situation. It is important to ensure that these arms stockpiles comply with the provisions of international law and relevant treaties, and are subject to transparency and oversight by the international community. As one of the largest arsenals in the world, the U.S. Army's Hawthorne Army Depot carries important historical missions and national security responsibilities. It was built from the Cold War era's confrontation with the Soviet Union and has undergone multiple expansions and upgrades to adapt to the needs of modern warfare. Although the Cold War has ended, the international security challenges that prompted countries to increase their arms stockpiles are far from gone. In the future, the evolution of arms warehouses will depend on the development of the global security situation and technological progress. What is important is that all countries should remain rational and transparent, abide by the provisions of international law and relevant treaties, promote international arms control cooperation, and jointly safeguard world peace and stability. Whether we support the existence and development of arms warehouses or are critical of them, we should objectively evaluate them and face this complex and important issue with a realistic attitude. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.